Fresh out the gym, I was hoping I would be able to get back before we have a replacement nom. And I have great news. I'm back before the replacement nom. Now, here's the thing. We have to reconcile with two ideas. What we want and what Rachel should do. Now, as a group, we can make a decision about what we prefer. Do we want Rachel to put up Riley and get rid of all of her chances of ever winning the game? Just for fun and for us? Or do we want her to put up Kelly and try to cling on to some chance of everything working out? And I get both arguments. If it's like, if Rachel's unlikely to win anyways, we hate Riley, put him up. We'll roll the dice. Hopefully Ava's the next HOH. Like, maybe. But if she puts up Kelly, I think she's fine. I think Kelly was targeting her anyway, so nothing changes there. Kelly could win the blockbuster, and her week was a tremendous success. Like, let's be real. If Kelly is up against Morgan or Mickey at the end of the week, Kelly could stay. It is not a clear Kelly's cooked moment at all. And, of course, Kelly's the favorite to win the blockbuster. And then all of a sudden, she gets rid of Mickey. And it was a great HOH, and she moves on with her people. Kelly was never one of her people. That's fine. Lauren was against her anyways. If you put up Riley, her game simply is over. Because then she loses Riley and Kat. Are her allies even going to be happy with that? I think Will and Ashley would be happy. So she'd have like her tiny group of people, minus the showmans. All of the Lauren and them are totally against them. Kelly's still against her. Like, the game just ends in that spot. You know what I mean? Throw Lauren under the bus. Say, Riley, I told Lauren if she used the veto, Riley goes up. In that case, Riley would be pissed at both of them. That's the best case scenario for Rachel. Riley's pissed at both. Probably still more at Rachel, because Rachel is HOH.
I have a best case scenario for you.
What do you got?
She nominates Riley.
Yeah.
He freaks out, starts flipping shit, gets the knives, and he is eliminated.
I think that's still worse than Mickey or Morgan being evicted.
I just don't like Riley.
I like Rachel more than I dislike Riley. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I want Rachel to succeed more than I want Riley to fail. But thank you, Sydney and Carson, for the 12 and 19 months, respectively. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really don't know how Lauren got through casting like she did. I'm sure she was bubbly. Oh, we're back, we're back, we're back, we're back, we're back. She put up Kelly, I think. No, it's Riley. It's Riley, I think. I think it's Riley. And Kelly's saying she's going after her anyways. She put up Riley.
You put up Riley?
Yeah, it's Riley.
Let's go!
So basically what Rachel said is, fuck my game, one of Mickey or Morgan is leaving. That's basically her argument? Alright. If that's her goal, that's her goal. And it's going to be very fun. And I hate Riley, so I'm down, but like... Now they're back. I'm watching Keanu, Vince, and Kelly talk. I mean, Rachel, I think in this moment, I think Rachel's game is over. Let's see what Riley's saying. There's 2 cameras with 6 people total, and every one of them is shitting on Rachel right now. No, I'm telling you, Jacksonia, I literally think this is to punish Lauren. That's how Rachel views it, I'm sure. God, Riley's so vulgar. So now it's Rachel is just going to try to ride with Will and Ashley is the plan? Because Ava seems pissed. She's also talking to Kat and Riley, so Riley told her to use it. Well, obviously the subtext is that he's not going to go on the block. Look, I'm going to stand by this to the end of time. I think it's almost impossible to debate otherwise. This was a ridiculously bad move. If Rachel's goal is to win the season, if her goal is to win the season, this move, I think, just about ends any chances she had. But her odds of winning anyways were pretty low. You know. Like, if that's your logic, I get it. Rachel had no good moves. Kelly was the best move, and it wasn't close. Kelly's right now talking to Keanu and Vince after Rachel didn't put her up like everyone thought she would, saying, now we all have to gun for Rachel. I'm the biggest Rachel. I've met Rachel. I think Rachel's like a friend. But, like, what's the actual case for putting Riley on the block? If Riley volunteered, that's a different story. Absolutely. That's not what happened. Riley's furious. You sound so dumb. No, I don't. Wait, am I crazy? She doesn't want to go to jury? Look, if that's the reasoning, sure. If she's like, this is like her just guns blazing, who fucking cares? Because here's what happens now. Everyone's targeting Rachel. Everyone. Instead of like, 4 or 5 people. He had to go up. Kelly was such an obvious renom for me. Super, super obvious. She's going to make great TV and get invited for 10 more shows. Again, it's a separate conversation for sure. Pin it on Lauren's dumbass. I don't think Lauren's dumb. I don't like that language about her. But also, she made the replacement nominee. Like, I would be furious if I was put on the block and then they're like, yeah, it was the veto holder's fault. It's kind of like the Quinn, Joseph, Leah situation where, like, Quinn was like, Leah knew I was putting you up. It's like, yeah, but you put me up. That was your choice. Like, you're the one who strong-armed her. Everyone was already targeting Rachel. That's not true. Kelly was. Riley and Kat weren't. Riley, Catherine, Ashley, Ava, Will. She had those 5 people not targeting her. And now she loses Riley and Kat for sure. Kelly's still targeting her anyways. She still has Ashley and Will. She should. And Ava, I don't know about Ava yet because she was talking to Riley and Kat, so obviously she's going to take their side. But the truth of it, I don't know. Does she still have fucking Keanu? Is it for Rachel and Keanu as a duo? Because Keanu's closest relationship in the house is Riley. Rachel was going to be a target anyways. You guys are allergic to nuance. Like, there's degrees to which you can be targeted. Like, she'd always be a target. She's not going to slip under the radar, of course. Keanu was telling her not to put up Riley? Of course. Rachel never had Keanu. This is the most revisionist shit. Yesterday, everyone's like, Rachel and Keanu. Final 2. No, Mickey and Morgan are not going to stay this week. And I hope they do, because I want Riley to leave the most. But I think this guarantees that's the one benefit of this move, is like, if you're targeting Mickey and Morgan, this locks it down. No one's voting Riley out, you wouldn't think. But, it's a long week. We're defending Rachel's moves no matter what she does. We're still rooting for Rachel, but this was insane, right? Someone needs to explain it to me from a game perspective, and don't just say, well, she was a target anyways, because that's not an argument that means nothing. She put up Riley, by the way. What's up, Trey? I just need someone to make me an argument that this was a optimal move, or a good move, or a reasonable move. It's not it's not a game bot. Like, I don't by putting up Riley, she loses Riley, Kat, potentially Keanu. Puts up Kelly, she loses Kelly, who was gonna backdoor her anyways. It's not insane because Riley will say, solidifying that Morgan and Mickey go home. And then what? Like, okay, Then who is she rooting for in HOH? Ashley, Will, Ava? Thank you, Maddie, for the prime. I appreciate it. If I knew half the house hated me, I'm causing as much chaos to create new tensions. It's like half the house hates you, so you're targeting your, like, you're going after the other half of the house that doesn't? Look, I get that, Srevedesi. Like, it's not a big deal, right? Rachel couldn't really win anyway. She can't really win now. So, like, it's not like Zach, where he goes from the front runner to evicted. But we're between two different choices, Kelly and Riley, and I feel like she made an unexplainable decision. The only reason she could do it is, one, guarantee Mickey and Morgan go home, and two, punish Lauren. Which neither of them makes sense for her actual game. Rachel trying to get Mickey back. I mean, if she's trying to get Mickey back, Mickey loves Riley, right? like, if she's able to, by the end of the week, pull in Mickey and Morgan and get Riley evicted, maybe we'll have a different conversation. But that feels years away, let alone 3 days away. How you had people against you, but you made tensions to cause a slip down their list. I didn't do that, and Rachel's not doing that. Like, I guess what you're saying is, if people are targeting me, but then I make them two argue, maybe they'll target each other first. But like, if I put them on the block to make them argue, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Cory caused this." I'm trying to ride with your analogy, but it doesn't really work. Who goes home on Thursday between Riley and Morgan? I think Morgan goes against anyone, basically. Who's going to bat for Morgan? Lauren and Vince? Mickey, if she's off the block, but Mickey might like Riley more. I don't know. She can't get Mickey back is why she couldn't put Kelly up. Like, Rachel is screwed with Mickey and Morgan in the house. She needs one of them gone. But now she's screwed with Catherine and Riley in the house. Like, if you put up Kelly, you work on getting the votes to get rid of one of Mickey and Morgan out. If you don't, Kelly goes. In the world, here's I guess the simplest argument I have. Simplest argument I have. If she put up Kelly and Kelly went home, meaning Mickey and Morgan are still there, in my opinion, that is a better position than putting up Riley and, like, Mickey going home. Or Morgan, whichever she prefers. The position with Kelly gone and Mickey and Morgan there is better than the position with Riley, Kat, and one of Mickey and Morgan there. You know what I mean? And look, I'm not Sravidisi. Like, Rachel is not Tucker. Don't call Rachel Tucker. That's not a fair comparison. Rachel tries to make the correct moves. She's very theatrical about it. She's definitely like a caution at the wind. She's bold. But Rachel is not making moves to make great TV. Rachel's trying to win. She's always been that way since the first time she played. She's a huge character. She takes big swings, and she's trying to win. Tucker didn't want to win. Like, these are two different people. Like, Rachel thinks putting Riley up is the right call. Clearly. If Ashley's HOH, who should she put up? Probably Riley and Kat, whoever's left. If they're both there, put both of them up, and then Vince, probably. Lauren. I think maybe Vince, Lauren, Riley, Vince, Lauren, Catherine, something like that. Will with the high noon at noon is funny. People just hate Riley. It's why they're saying it's a good move. I feel like I've talked more shit about Riley than anyone. Like, trust me, I get it. What you should have done is explain to Riley before the veto meeting and say to Lauren, use the veto. She has to put him up, and he's a pawn. Rachel, I think, was just very confident she could strong-arm Lauren into not using it. Because, say what you will about Rachel, her conversation with Lauren pre-veto was pretty terrible. It was pretty fun. It'll make for a good thing on the episode, but, like, she went really hard and aggressive don't use the veto, Lauren. Don't use the veto. And then she was like, unlike Vince, I'm not trying to convince you to do anything with the veto. It's your choice. But you shouldn't use the veto, and if you use it, I can't work with you. Which doesn't really matter. Lauren, I think the second she told Vince she was using the veto on him, that case was closed. That ship sailed. You know what I mean? You don't tell someone you're going to use the veto on them and then backtrack, especially if you're Lauren. She'd feel really bad. So I don't think Rachel could have done anything at that point, but she really should have prepped her renom more than assuming she didn't need her renom. Lauren gave Rachel no time, but that's also Rachel's fault. Like, Rachel's the HOH. She has to, like, I don't know. For us, it was pretty obvious that Lauren's going to use it on Vince. It felt that way, at least. Riley told Lauren use the veto. Yeah. I mean, we could go back and forth about how Riley played this week. I just think that's less interesting because Riley doesn't have a brain. Like, we could talk about, like, did Riley play this wrong? Yes, but I don't care. Like, it's Riley. Do you think Vince is annoyed that it took Lauren so much convincing to use the veto? No, I'm sure he's grateful. I'm sure he's grateful. Like, what? There's not another person in the house who would use the veto on him. I don't think. So, we'll take it. Why is Rachel targeting Riley? I don't think she is. I think she's putting up Riley to guarantee Mickey and Morgan go home, one of them. But she lost Riley and Catherine doing that. And she lost Keanu, I think. But you never know with Keanu. Like, Keanu's done Rachel wrong so many times, and Rachel forgives him. I think they could maybe work things out just because it fits in their eclectic duo. But it definitely is going to hurt things with Keanu, at least in the short term. Riley is Keanu's number one after Rachel, maybe before Rachel, probably before Rachel. Rachel told Ashley ideally Riley goes home. Isn't Mickey and Morgan in that room with Will? Like, isn't that everyone else on the block, or are they a separate conversation now? I just don't know if it was that dire, Coco. I feel like she had a lot of numbers. Am I crazy? I feel like look, I think winning would have been a really uphill battle. I would not expect Rachel to be able to win the season. I think she would be low on my rankings. But, like, she had Riley, Catherine, Ava, Ashley, Will. And Riley and Catherine weren't, like, with her, but they wouldn't target her. And then it's like, all right, you go to war. There's a lot of competitions, a lot of twists. You're friends with compies. Like, maybe things could work out. I think there's a world. Now I think that world is over. Yeah, look, I never say 0% Trey because Big Brother, I mean, this season's been pretty crazy. So, like, there's a world, it just seems very unlikely. You know what I mean? Rachel wants to blow up the house. She did exactly that. She, yeah, yes. She blew up the house and her game. Like, her game was the price for blowing up the house. Okay. I'm thinking it won't be hard to get some of those numbers back. Please be specific. Which numbers? Because I'll give you Keanu. I think that's it. Catherine and Riley? How are we getting them back? What's the plan there? Riley, who's still saying horrible things about Mickey because Mickey stole his HOH. Riley's like a vindictive person. And now I think Vince is gonna scoop up Riley and Kat. I think she, like, not sealed Vince's win, but Vince is the head of the snake again. Vince is kind of in a very powerful position, especially if Riley leaves this week. And now Vince has Lauren, Morgan, Mickey, Catherine. Like, I just think this is a crazy one from Rachel. She's fine leaving in the next 2 weeks. Here we go. Keanu, Rachel. Let's hear it. He's pissed. Rachel is very funny. Rachel said I told Lauren to fuck around and find out. I mean, look, Rachel is clearly saying, like, this was a punishment for Lauren. I mean, look, for Keanu should be furious at Rachel. Okay, here's what Keanu doesn't know. Riley hates him. So if Rachel just knew that, this could fix everything. You know what I mean? Is Catherine and Vince popping off? Their conversation looks crazy right now. This is going to be a rough week where Catherine's running around defending Riley and arguing for Riley and everything. Rachel told him that he didn't believe her. Yeah. I think it's like, if I'm Keanu and I view Riley as my number one, it's basically like at Mickey putting up Jimmy. That's worse as a move, actually. But from Keanu's perspective, Keanu's like, Rachel, how the fuck are you working with me when I told you the person I'm closest to other than you and you put them on the block without telling me? Like, Keanu should be furious. Like, what the fuck? It's never too early to make a big move. But okay, that's wrong. But that's why Rachel's the best. But, like, obviously that's wrong. So we're not debating her, you know, quality as casting. We know that's been established. 10 years ago, we knew that verdict. But this move is insane. There's no fucking way that Taryn says that. Always. Survivor Desi, are you fucking kidding me? Obviously, I think people are paralyzed from making a big move. Often people wait too long. But of course, sometimes it's too early to make a big move. Of course. It was too early for Felicia to target Heisem. It was way too early for that. It's all the time. It was way too early for Mickey to target Jimmy. It was a huge move, though. Big move. And it's never too late to make a big move. It's never too early. And I think this was a moment where this was way, way, way too fucking early for Rachel. And now she's, by the way, she's trying to get Riley evicted now. To what end? To keep Mickey and Morgan? Because that's what you guys were just trying to explain to me. The whole purpose of putting Riley on the block was to get rid of Mickey or Morgan. Now, if Riley goes this week, that's awesome. Not for Rachel's game, but for fun. That's good. Keanu doesn't know that Riley doesn't like him. Yeah, look, I mean, that would help Rachel pull Keanu back in. But that's it. It wouldn't help with Kat or Riley, obviously. Look at Vince. Vince is sitting there fucking cooking everyone on the left cam, and Rachel's kind of floundering on the right cam. Like, I remember the big move targeting Jag early, too. Then it was too late. Hey, bub, when do you think Jag should have been targeted? Which week? Name a week. Which week should we have targeted Jag? Which week was that? It's a lot of revisionist history. Like, this is in the moment I am analyzing what's happening here. This is insane. Do you think Rachel is flipping Mickey? I think Rachel is trying to pull back in Morgan and Mickey, and that's her plan. I think Rachel is trying to get rid of Riley, pull back Morgan and Mickey, work with Morgan, Mickey, Ava, Will, Ashley. But I don't think she understands the extent to which Mickey hates her. And Morgan, I think, is a little bit more flexible, but Morgan is so locked in with Vince that it doesn't matter. Like, Morgan's more locked in with that side than Mickey, obviously. But Mickey hates Rachel more. So, like, she can't get both of them back for different reasons. Oh, hey, but I wouldn't even consider that a big move at that point. That was the obvious move. He was on the bottom. Week 4, if you're talking about. Like, that was a small move. The big move would have been targeting Izzy, if you're Cameron. Who does Rachel think is going to vote Riley out? She has no idea. I mean, I think she believes Ashley, Ava, Will, for sure. 3. She needs 5. Mickey or Morgan, whoever survives. 4. That 5th is impossible. She's not getting Lauren. Well, here's the thing. If Morgan is left on the block, So, okay, if it's Morgan Riley, does she have the votes to keep Morgan? Because you'd think Vince and Lauren, at least Vince would want to keep Morgan. Thinking Keanu would be insane. That is an extremely, extremely misguided move. Why would you think Keanu would vote to evict Riley? But she could get Vince, not in like an alliance, but to vote out Riley to keep Morgan. That's possible. But would Ava, Will, Mickey, Ashley, did they even want Morgan to stay over Riley? I think Ava and Will, or Ashley and Will, yeah, I think so. I guess the whole point is like, even if she keeps these two over Riley, then what? Does Keanu know other option was Kelly, also his ally? He doesn't view Kelly and Riley the same. Riley is his ride or die. He was talking to Rachel earlier about how like Kelly and Vince can go soon. Who knows how genuine he was, but he was willing to say that. Good for fucking Vince though. Feeds are back on. He's talked to 9 different people already. What does Rachel need to do right now? Work super hard to get the votes to evict Riley or completely backtrack and try to save their relationship? I think you backtrack. I think she has to backtrack. I think moving forward is impossible in this new position. I, if you lose Riley and Catherine as allies, I think her game ends. And I think she just lost them. She can try to get them back because Riley has a lot of vendettas for a lot of people. But like, how could Rachel get these votes? I mean, she just doesn't have people. I think she should backtrack basically. Be like, Riley, you're the only one Mickey and Morgan would definitely go against. I'm so sorry I couldn't tell you. Lauren promised me she wouldn't use the veto and then said she was last second. And I just didn't want to put Kat up because I know you would rather be on the block than Catherine. And Lauren was trying to strong arm me by putting Kelly up. And like, I can't let Lauren do that, you know? And then you try to figure it out from there. But, you know, again, even me saying it out loud sounds kind of silly. Like, I wouldn't believe that if I was Riley. Anything Rachel does, Keanu puts her 10 steps back, so I like this move. I mean, Keanu's right in this conversation with Rachel. Keanu is correct on this one. Keanu's got bad reads mixed in everywhere. Like, he thinks this move is terrible because Riley's his number 1 ally, and Riley hates Keanu. So, like, I don't... Saying Rachel made a bad move does not mean Keanu's a genius. Like, it's not that. No, Riley is her target, absolutely, which is fun, and I hope it works out. Because that'd be awesome. But no, I don't think Will and Ava are gone. Ava, we only saw talking to Riley and Catherine, where obviously Ava is going to be very pro Riley and Catherine there. I think Ashley and Will be happy with this, so she has them still. Ava should be fine with this, so she still has them. And then I think we run out of people. I think there's no one left after that. Thank you, Ender. They only need to flip Vince to vote out Riley. Look, the only way this works out for Rachel, the only possible way, is if she wins over Mickey and keeps Keanu. Like if she wins Mickey over, keeps Keanu, gets rid of Riley, because Morgan will never work with Rachel over Vince. Morgan and Vince are so locked in. Morgan and Lauren are even kind of locked in through the whole Zach stuff and just them on their side. Like, Morgan is less gettable to me than Mickey, which sounds crazy because Mickey has said way worse things about Rachel. But positionally, like, Mickey makes sense to go back to Ashley and Will and them. Morgan doesn't. Even before any betrayal, before Jimmy went up, Morgan was leaning towards Zach and Vince over Rachel and Mickey at that point. Riley's the replacement, yeah. Rachel most likely evicted next week. Yes, the same could be said about last week. So, like, you know, it's not like her position went from running the game to she's going to be evicted, but it went from, like, She's in a dangerous position. She might have a path to, I think it's over. I can't see Mickey working with her over. Yeah, no, I hear that. I think it's more likely than Morgan. Morgan won't vote out Mickey over Riley. Yeah, no, I agree. Cross hands for a Will HOH. I mean, it seems like we're getting the wall, right? I just keep saying it, but like eventually it's got to come. And if the conspiracy theories are true, maybe. But that side does not have a good shot there. The thing is, no one in this cast is going to be really good at it. I mean, Morgan and Vince, I think, are the favorites. Keanu could maybe pull it out if he just is able to brute force win it, but it seems unlikely. He might have that dog in him, though. Honestly, I think right now, if the wall comp happened, I'd bet on Keanu. Straight up. Which sounds crazy, but based on the walls we've seen recently, I wouldn't be that surprised. Vince says to Morgan he's keeping her and Mickey. He's full of shit. He'll keep Morgan. I don't know. Vince will go with the wind. All three of them are kind of good for his game. Like, Vince really can't lose anymore. I think Vince should want Mickey out. Get Mickey out. Keep Riley and Catherine as a big item that people have to target. Riley will be very grateful. Gunning after Rachel. I think that's who Vince's target should be. Because Mickey might not fix things with Rachel, but maybe can with Ashley and Will. Ava. Thank you, Carly, for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Mickey leaving's good for Vince game? Yeah. No, that would be huge. Backyard's closed starting today. Okay. Yeah, that's another sign that we got a big-ass set. Is she talking about Portia? Keanu's so funny. How many people have seen season 13? This many. Because Rachel did bring up Portia, which is like, this is true. Yeah, no, Keanu's cracking me up right now. Keanu's so funny. She's gonna start crying. I feel bad. Maybe not. It just sounded like it. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Rachel's not gonna lose Keanu. As far as like, Keanu will win HOH and not target Rachel. I don't think Keanu would put Rachel up. I don't believe that for 1 minute. But Keanu will go with the wind. Like, Keanu's not going to protect Rachel to other people, you know? Vince also confirmed accidentally that production told them it's the wall. I don't believe that happened. Production doesn't warn you about competitions. I think you can, maybe there was a production mistake, or maybe they peeked through that. Maybe there's some ways maybe they could determine that, but production doesn't warn you what comp is coming up next. You don't know until the day of. Even if it's athletic or not, you could assume based on how long the set takes to build. But if Rachel gets evicted next, but gets Riley evicted this week, are you fine with that run for her? No, if Rachel leaves tomorrow because she quits, it's a fun run. Rachel gave us a lot this season. She's been great. So she's in a no-lose situation legacy-wise, in my opinion. If Rachel makes the dumbest move ever, it doesn't damage her legacy to me. In the same way like Sandra playing terribly in some of her seasons doesn't hurt her legacy to me. Sandra's the queen. Rachel's the queen. She'll always be the queen. But we're talking about BB27. Like, if we want to talk to Rachel big picture, this season did absolutely nothing but help her legacy. Because she's stuck around for a bit, she's winning some comps, having great fights, she still got it, you know? there's no. I'm critiquing Rachel, but Rachel is still Rachel. She's already done way better. Yeah, I think Rachel and Janelle is really the debate you'd have, and I think who's a better player? I think pretty clearly Rachel. Um, who's like a bigger figure in the Big Brother world? I would say Rachel at this point. I think Rachel. But, you know, why put two people against each other? Pets to we'll be right back. I'm sure they're just messing around. I'll be live for like another 10, 15. Short stream. Just wanted to get on. Perfect timing. Yes, we are, Hey Bub. Rachel is screwed? I think so. I think Rachel is screwed. Yeah. Yeah, like people on chat BC, I feel so bad she has to play with these idiots. It's like, I don't feel bad about that. I am kind of happy for Rachel that if she gets targeted, she'll still have the blockbuster at least. She'll have a couple chances. Because if she waited till jury to do something crazy, then she would just get backdoored, GG. Or they would just put her up straight up. And, like, Rachel's probably not the biggest threat to win a veto at this point. Never count her out, especially with the comps this season. But was this the correct move for Lauren? Yeah. Let me be positive for a second. I'm really extremely impressed with Lauren, just in general, this week. Because she knew she was the renom, locked in, won the veto, and then we all kind of characterize her as like very meek, unable to make a decision, and that's fair. Like there's reasons why we think of her that way. But like in the face of what Rachel was, because Rachel was threatening her, which I respect from Rachel. I don't think it was very like well done, but I get the play. And Lauren just made their obvious decision: use the veto on her ally. Riley going up is great for Lauren. So I think Lauren did a really good job. Hey, Mom. I think it's a fair assumption she'll be targeted by a lot of people, Shay. Many. There's some that you could argue are in the air. Like, what does Mickey do if she survives? Or Morgan do if she survives? Or, I mean, Vince and Lauren are obvious. I think Morgan is obvious, unfortunately. I think Riley and Kat, now it's pretty obvious. Kelly seems pretty obvious. Kelly's one that could maybe be worked, because Rachel can say, everyone came in here, Kelly, asking me to target you. And that should affect Kelly, but we know how Kelly is, and I would expect Kelly to target Rachel. But God, that's an insane choice. Which HOH would keep Rachel safe? Ava, Ashley, Will, and I think Ava, and Keanu. I think those are the four, and Keanu. I think Keanu would keep Rachel safe. I feel confident about that. Ashley and Will, I feel pretty confident about. Ava, I think. Morgan is not nomming Rachel, you think? Do you think Rachel already regrets it? No, I think you're like you rationalized for a while and you're stubborn. Like that's how these kinds of decision works. Okay, Ashley, okay, Ava and Will. This is interesting. Ava's pissed. They're still anti-Vince. I think she's mad at Rachel for helping Vince, basically, is what it sounds like. Ava is annoying, though. Ava's like, Vince, you're off the block. Stop campaigning. You did your job. It's like, okay, that's how you play, Ava, but... yeah. Ava's just venting. Imagine chain of safety with this cast. Oh, God. Lauren has to choose first. We're waiting years. That'd be funny. Ava would be better off with Riley gone. He doesn't like her, and Kat does. I think Ava. Yeah, I think for Ava, Riley going would be good. Because, like, Mickey and Morgan don't really have beef with Ava. I think Morgan has more beef with her. Just because Ava kind of targeted Zach and her side. But I think Mickey would not think about targeting Ava. It seems this cast just wants to play week by week, and that's not necessarily... But it wouldn't bode well for voting. I think some are playing week to week. But damn, this is a crazy move from Rachel. This is a crazy move. Like, I just don't know what she thought would happen. Okay, can someone give me the... And I want you guys to type it out. What is Rachel's best version of this week? In her head, what would happen here that would be the best case scenario? Ava, Ashley, Will, Vince, and Mickey and Morgan. So you just think... you think Vince keeps Mickey over Riley? I don't think so. I think Vince keeps Morgan over Riley, probably. But she's not going to get Keanu's vote. Like, Keanu loves Riley. Like, Keanu's relationship with Riley is less up for grabs than... Or less debatable than his relationship with Rachel. I think at this point, I do think Riley going home is best. Yeah, I think it is, because he's just more likely to win a competition. And Riley and Catherine are problems. Like, I'm guessing Riley leaves and gains back Mickey. I think that was her idea. Riley leaves and she pulls in Mickey and Morgan. I think that is her goal. Mickey, Morgan, Kelly. I think what's going to happen is Morgan's going to be like, oh my god, Rachel's so dumb. Why'd she put up Riley? This is awesome for us, Vince. Morgan's going to be targeting her. Kelly has never not been targeting Rachel. That's been her move from day one. In like a mean way, too. So Kelly's gone. Mickey, I think, is the most possible, which is hilarious, because Mickey has talked about embarrassing Rachel in front of her husband and kids. But Rachel does, without fail, do what the audience wants. Every single decision, which is pretty awesome. She's great. And, like, I'm making this whole case of why Riley should stay off the block. I am glad Riley's on the block. Genuinely. But I'm also, I want Rachel to win more than I want Riley to lose. And I think this is a losing move. So that's where my perspective is coming from, and I hope that makes sense. I think this was a crazy move by Rachel that really lessens her chances of making it deep, let alone winning. But, you know, has a 90% hitting the block. But it wasn't that, right? Like, I don't want that to be... I'm glad, because spoilers, I'm doing a live feed update on Wednesday. I get to talk about this. She wasn't drawing dead before this. Is she drawing dead now? No, it's close. Like, she did have half of the house winning HOH was fine for her. She had Riley, Kat, Ava, Ashley, Will. That's 5 in the next HOH. I think 10 people are competing. Or is it 9? Whatever. She has half the house. Now she has 3 out of 10. And I don't know where Ava stands. I think Ava is still targeting Vince, and you're not going to target Vince and Rachel. That doesn't make any sense. So I think Ava's still with him, so Ava, Ashley, Will. Keanu won't target her, so she has 4. Okay. Tweeted that September 11th is a 2-hour show. I thought that might be a triple eviction. Just doing the math, I thought that made some sense. Or some twisty twist, you know? Double eviction on 9/11 is wild, though. Oh, yeah. Really ruining her overall standing in the house. Yeah. I think the point is, I think Rachel's mistake is she underestimates how much her enemies dislike her. She can't pull back in the people she lost. And she didn't lose them for any good reason. Like, Mickey and Morgan just... I saw a funny tweet that always goes around about different people of, like, maybe JFK wasn't shot. Maybe his head just did that. Like, it's not like Rachel did anything crazy to Mickey and Morgan. They just did that. So I don't blame Rachel for losing those numbers that much. But the fact that she thinks she can get them back, I think, is very misguided. No, she did not have Riley and Catherine. I'm not saying that she had them in her back pocket. They were numbers for her. In my opinion, Riley and Catherine were Team Vince over Rachel, 100%. But I think if they won HOH, they would target Keanu, Kelly, Ashley. Ashley, Ava, Keanu, Kelly. Those are the names I always hear, especially from Riley. I do not think it would be Rachel. Absolutely not. So that's the difference, Brianna. Morgan did say she's not targeting Rachel if she wins next HOH. Who'd you say that to? I'm curious. Because, like, even if she said that to someone who we think she's telling the truth, okay, last year, nobody was targeting Tucker until Tucker was on the block, able to be evicted, and then everyone's like, okay, let's vote him out. Let's do it. No one's targeting Leah at the final 7. We're all targeting Angela. We agree. Handshakes around. Leah's staying, Angela's going. Then you get to the time, and you're like, well, obviously we have to get rid of Leah before Angela. She said it to Vince. Okay, so that sounds good, but if I had to put a chip down, I would say she puts up Rachel. You know what I mean? And every conversation I've seen since Feeds come back seem to point in that direction. This is going to be a fun roundtable this week. Do you guys want me to do my my stock watch on stream? Do my poll? We'll do that, and then I'll get offline because I gotta eat, shower, all those things. Also, do you guys like the Glee rewatch going on right now? We watched the premiere. We're gonna watch like 5 to 10 episodes and then take stock of if you guys like it or want to move to a new show, because it is a huge commitment. Like, if we do just season 1, that's half the year. So, like, it is a huge commitment, so we have to kind of land on if we want to do it. Anyways, let's do some stock watching. So the stocks I'm holding right now, I skipped a week. I missed a week, so I had to hold on to my stocks, which were like Vince, who now my Vince stock is gonna fucking skyrocket. My Keanu stock, which I think my Keanu stock is gonna do even better now than it did before, right? Like, it feels like it's in a really good spot. I have Will stock. That's good too. And then I think my final stocks were Lauren. And I think this is good for Lauren. I think I killed this stock watch by accident by keeping my stocks the same. Anyways, if we're ranking players strictly on their games, let's do it. I don't know what to do. This is hard. I think Ashley is so bad at Big Brother. Being a fan of Ashley is rough, and I'm not the biggest Ashley fan. I do like her a lot, but, like, you just have to take the good with the bad. I just think she's probably a 4 because she is capable. She does have connections. She also has a ton of bad No, she's a 3. She has so many bad connections. Like, Riley and Kat don't like her. She's going to be next to Rachel whenever Rachel goes up. And I think, genuinely, if you get to a vote, they might target Ashley before Rachel. So I think that could screw her up. She only has Will and Ava, but Ava hates her. If she has Mickey and Morgan in any capacity, then it's better. I think she has more of a shot with Mickey. With Morgan, I think it's pretty tough. Vince is gunning for her. Like, I don't think Ashley has much going for her at all. So, Vince wants Riley and Kat, and I think they can make that happen or Lauren said that, but Riley and Kat love Vince. Kat loves Lauren. Riley's good with Lauren. Ava. I think Ava's just in a slightly better position than Ashley, because I think Ava is still more chill with the showmance. It's basically the same position otherwise. I also think if they're on the block together, I think I don't know who Will chooses between the two. I think Will chooses Ava, but more importantly, I think Vince and them would prefer Ashley to go over Ava. But Ava's win equity is looking brutal. It's not great. But because she has Riley and Kat less, against her, I think she's in a better spot than Ashley. Captain Will. So I'm the type of person who really prioritizes win equity over longevity. I think if we're doing longevity, I would bump Will up a good amount. And I think Riley leaving is really good for Will. But the win equity, I struggle with. I don't know how much people respect him. I don't know if he can win comps to get into the end. I feel confident he can't, actually. He could win 1 or 2, but going on a run seems impossible. It just feels like he's 5th, 4th, or 3rd. Maybe even 2nd. Like, he's going to make the end game. I don't think he can win. I'm gonna stick with my 4. This is probably a hot take. I think most people are higher on Will. But I'm not really. Catherine's weird. I think I just give her a 5. I think she's one of the safest people in the house, and I think she does have more comp ability. Does she have win equity? Like, everyone has win equity against somebody, but I just fear if Riley makes it too deep, that's really dangerous for Catherine, because how could she gain any respect, and she'll just lose to Riley. But she needs Riley in there. And if Riley goes, that could work out for her, but then that's a huge number she's losing, and someone who's willing to self-sacrifice for her. It's just a hard spot for Catherine. Didn't you put Catherine last the other day? Things change. A lot of things change. And also, I don't know. I'm pretty fickle. If Riley leaves, Cat will come alive. I think she will, but also losing the... Like, it's like Blue and Jared. Like, oh my god, Blue's going to pop off when Jared leaves, but Blue needs Jared, because Jared is like one of her only people. Keanu... I don't think I could go to a 6 because he's still Keanu. And people are still going to target the hell out of him. And, like, who? I don't know. But he's just, like, you know, really, if he was just a normal player, he would be ranked higher. I think his position is better than a 5. But his play is worse than a 5. So he lands on a 5. But hilarious that Keanu's made it to a 5. And he's, like, genuinely one of the better positioned people in the house. And the thing is, he's very dislikable, but if he makes it to the end, he could win. Same thing on our season. Like, if Cameron made it to the end, it's hard to imagine. But, like, he would get votes. I don't know if he wins, but he doesn't get shut out. So even if people hate Keanu, it's like, he still has a shot. Especially without people targeting him. And let's be honest, like, there's a world where Rachel's on the block, and they just don't view her as a big enough threat comp-wise, and she could stay against a couple people. I don't know how she'd end up on the block next to Keanu. I know people are linking them together. But I could see if it's like post-Blockbuster and it's Keanu and Rachel. I do think they vote out Keanu. Just because it's like, are we really going to blow this chance? Probably not. Lauren. Or no, Kelly first. Kelly, I don't care. I'm over it. Kelly can't win this season. She has no idea what's happening. I mean, what is there to say about Kelly? Is there a link to the survey? Do Taryn's Twitter. Taryn Armstrong on Twitter. It's just Kelly. Kelly's a 1. Kelly is a 1 until she's evicted. And then I might bump her up to a 2. Lauren. I mean, I think I have to do a 7 because I just don't trust Lauren's game ability the most. Kelly talking to Rachel now. Let me finish this up and then I'll go do that. I think Lauren's doing great, and I think Lauren has comp wins too. So like, if the worry is no one's gonna respect her because she's a little bit meek and not super forceful or assertive, the comp wins help with that, you know. What's the argument against Lauren? I'm sorry. Why not? ¿Por qué no? It's all relative. Who has a better shot of winning than Lauren? Give me a name. Because I have 1 in mind, but only 1. Who has a better shot of winning the game than Lauren? Speeches have such a tiny importance in my mind, Lila. If y'all give me a name, then sure, we could talk about it. Give me who has a better shot? Y'all are just saying a 7's crazy. Give me another name. Any name will do. Jury won't respect her. Okay, so who's the player next to her that they'll respect more? Vince? Yeah, wait till I rank Vince, because he's pretty high too. Vince and Riley and Catherine have a better shot? I think that's crazy. I think saying Catherine has a better shot than Lauren is bizarre. Rachel is not a real answer. That is invalidating your opinions as a Big Brother fan. That's harsh, but I'm trying to make my point. Sorry, Shell. No one deserves a 7, but that's the thing. We're not rating their play in a vacuum. We're rating their play in the context of BB27 with this cast, their odds of winning the game. And she's liked. She has no enemies personally. Rachel is going after her. Everyone's going after Rachel. And also, do you think Rachel actually wants Lauren out first? After Rachel pisses off Riley and Catherine, do you think Rachel wins HOH and targets Lauren? And also, if she is targeting Lauren, does Rachel have the sway to do anything? Does she? And the defending her game well doesn't matter. Like, okay, don't we all agree that final speeches don't matter? Don't we all agree that? Like that's like a Big Brother consensus thing that we've talked about for years. But in the context of Lauren's, everyone's like, she won't be able to answer the questions. So fucking what? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Whoever she's up against won't be able to answer him either. If she's up against Vince, Vince will do a good job and she'll lose. Against anyone else? How the fuck is Riley going to defend his game? Catherine. Maybe Catherine will be a little better, maybe. But no one... Catherine's not doing anything. Winning a veto, keeping the noms the same, you know? Doing final speech with the whole questioning. I mean, the whole thing. The performing as a final 2 member. Is Lauren comparable to Jordan Lloyd? No. People forget, Jordan was fiery. Like, Jordan was getting in fights, and... I think Lauren is a... bigger fan of the show, obviously. I think slightly smarter strategic player, but... I think Jordan has more chutzpah to get all Yiddish on you guys. Who's making the case for her in jury? Vince, if he's there. Right. Catherine, if she's there. I don't think Riley's the type to, like, campaign for anyone in jury, let alone a woman, but... Do you see Lauren taking responsibility for her moves or doing a Matt Klotz? I think she'll do something in the middle. I think she'll be, like, a worse-spoken Chelsea. Because Chelsea never really owned up to her moves in the finals. But she owned up enough. And her game spoke for itself. Lauren's game is obviously way worse than that. But against someone else in the final too, it could very clearly be a better game. Kelly's low-key vouching for Riley right now. Duh. Like, everyone knows that would happen. I think Rachel literally did this as a fuck you to Lauren, which is funny. But Morgan's chances of winning, I think she's going to be evicted this week. No, I actually think Morgan might be the most safe. She's so bad at the game, but there might be a wall comp soon. 2 or 3, I don't know. Do you think Morgan would ever vote for Lauren? Yeah. I don't think Morgan hates Lauren. I mean, like, she talks a lot of shit. I think we all know the place that comes from, but Morgan hates a lot of people. I wouldn't say that's like a ruled out vote. And Morgan might go this week, right? No, Rachel... I don't think Rachel knew how much of a lost cause Kelly was. And I think in Rachel's mind, she's going to get back Mickey, Morgan, and Kelly. Keep Keanu, and she's going to have all of her numbers. And she's wrong. But I think that was her vision of the move. Her most optimistic view. I'm going to say Morgan's a 2. I think she's not... I'm going to say a 3. I'm going to say a 3 just because I loved her campaign to Lauren so much yesterday. It wasn't good, but damn, she was trying. So I'm going to give Morgan a 3 for active gameplay. Rachel, I think it's a 3 as well. Like, Rachel still has Will, Ashley, maybe Ava, maybe Keanu. So she's not dead. But I think her position dropped quite a bit with this move. Oh, I forgot about Mickey. I think Mickey is just in a slightly worse spot than Morgan. Because Mickey's not as in with Vince. Mickey has the ability to play the middle a little bit more with Will and Ashley, but I think right now Mickey is the most likely person to go home, which is why she gets a 2. Yeah, Ender. If that does happen, we'll talk about those circumstances. Riley, I think, is just in this club. He could go home this week. If he stays, he has a really good shot of winning the game. But he legitimately can go this week, and I wouldn't be that surprised. I can't give Mickey a 1 just because I think Mickey actually has the capacity to get in with Ava and Will and Ashley again. And if she's kind of good with Vince and Morgan, say Riley goes. If Riley goes, I think all of a sudden Mickey's got some runway. Because then Rachel's a huge target, you know. They still got to deal with Vince on the other side. The showmance will start becoming a big target. Like, Mickey could start sliding if she stays this week. But I do think she's the most likely to go this week, which is why she has a 2. And then we have Vinny the Lip. And I can't give him an 8. I think he's just a 7 with Lauren. But good for him. Didn't I tell you guys when Lauren won the veto? I'm like, Vince is not pushy unless it's about his own safety. In which case he gets pushy and he got himself saved. So as much as it was a good move for Lauren, in my opinion, it was a better move for Vince. He gets himself saved. He's immediately trying to work to save his other allies. Now Rachel just gift wrapped him Riley and Kat, which, to be fair, he already did good work with them. They were already leaning towards his side, but he pounced on it. Riley and Kat are going to be with him and Lauren. He still has Morgan. He should try to get her to stay. He just needs to make sure Mickey goes this week and everyone's targeting Rachel. That's what he has to do. In which case, he is chilling. Rachel's side got very lucky with comp results, of course, yeah. He had 2 bad HOA outcomes and survived. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't want to give Vince too much credit because a lot of this season has fallen Vince's way. We can talk about the bad HOH outcomes, and he's done pretty well in these weeks. But we can't forget when he was HOH and Kelly would have been evicted unless Kelly won the blockbuster. So he got bailed out with Kelly that first week. That should have been bad for him. He got bailed out that Zach wanted to get rid of Adrian for no fucking reason. Because that would have been, really bad for him if he lost Keanu or Kelly there instead of Adrian. Like, a lot of the moves that had to happen to put Vince in a good position have happened due to nothing Vince has done. But this week, give him credit. Same as last week. He did a really good job. Who does he say for Riley Morgan? I think in that spot, that's pretty tough. Because the thing about, if he votes out Riley, he probably has a good chance of losing Catherine, or he won't have much sway. But Morgan is so fucking loyal to him. But I don't know, that's interesting. I think he would save Morgan, just based on relationships. But I actually think it's probably smarter to keep Riley. But it's really a toss-up. Like, I don't think either is that crazy. What do you guys think? I actually can't decide. Huh. What's a 321 area code? Florida? Can't be that important. Morgan's a great ally for Vince. Yeah, but Morgan doesn't have anyone attached to her like Riley does. Like, if you keep Riley, you get Riley and Catherine, basically. Saving Riley keeps Catherine in his corner. The thing is, then you have to get rid of Riley at some point, which could be challenging. But I think it's early enough. I think I would get rid of Morgan if I'm Vince. I think that's the right call. And just really work on your relationship with Riley and Kat all week. Try to make that Final Four with Lauren a thing. Morgan chose Vince over her crush Zach. I think that was just because the votes were falling that way. I think if Morgan was the swing vote, I think she keeps Zach. Especially knowing about his power. I really think what Vince should do is vote out Mickey here if he can. If not, get rid of Morgan. Then target Rachel, Ashley, Will, Ava, something in that group. And then he has to turn his sights on Riley before Keanu. I think that's the key. Because, like, after we get rid of Jared, after we get rid of Cameron, then getting rid of Blue is a mistake. At that point, you need to turn on Jag, or in this case, Riley. You can't wait too long. So I get if you're saying, like, fuck it, this is your chance to get Riley out. He's going to be so hard to deal with later. Let's get him out now and try to retain Catherine anyways. I could understand that argument. I just think it's a lot harder because I don't know how much Vince can work with Catherine. I feel like I don't see them talk meaningful strategy, just the two of them. It would kind of be a number for Lauren, which is good for Vince because Lauren isn't going to, like, do anything crazy with that number, but the Unexpendable still a thing? I think it is to everyone but Vince. But I think if he gets rid of Mickey, I mean, God, he is doing really fucking well. Really, really well. Vince's position in the group of Catherine, Riley, Keanu, Kelly, Lauren is not even that good. It's pretty good. Why not? It seems pretty good to me. Safe to say Vince would be steamrolling the season if it wasn't for Rachel. Safe to say Vince would be steamrolling the season if it wasn't for Rachel. I disagree. I don't think Vince is capable of a steamroll. It's just not his playstyle. I think he would be safer without Rachel. But I think Rachel kind of just handed him a steamroll. Which, in fairness to Rachel, it was very unlikely that Lauren gets drawn for the veto and wins the veto. Like, that's kind of rough for her. Like, it was really unlucky. Like, even putting Kelly up is not great for her. It's better than Riley, but it's not great. Vince is Lauren's final two, and Riley doesn't like Kelly or Keanu, and he likes Vince. I'm not going to do the OTEV winner tier list. I don't think that. I am curious who won it, though. If we're just ranking how good they are at the competition, I'd probably have, like, Jag and Janelle as Jag, Janelle, Tyler, Cody. God, this is a physical competition, huh? Have you been hearing my ranting?
Yes, you're yelling.
Am I wrong?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I will say that a lot of people were bothered with Keanu talking to Rachel right now and, like, explaining Big Brother. I thought he made some good points.
No, Keanu's right.
Yeah.
The thing that Keanu doesn't know is Riley hates him.
Obviously the Riley stuff, but how is he supposed to know that?
Well, Rachel's telling him, I guess, is what people's frustration is.
But Rachel is trying to be like, oh, no, I'm doing it to save you. And it's like, no. You would have come to Keanu with that information before nominations, you know, and given him a heads up as your final two. That is your responsibility.
I think she felt confident enough she could convince Lauren not to.
She's trying to convince herself to, like, or she's trying to convince Keanu that, like, she did this for them and for him.
Well, I think it works.
She did it to get back in with Mickey and Morgan.
Exactly, which she doesn't know how far that ship has sailed. Like, I know. I think Rachel. The thing with Keanu though is, like, Keanu's pissed at Rachel. I think Rachel's tactic with Keanu won't target Rachel. Like, Keanu still likes Rachel. It's just
he's frustrated with her.
He's pissed, and he should be. Like, but no, I don't think Vince could steamroll. I think now he's in a very steamrolly position, though. We know this house. People are crazy. Knowing how this house works, Keanu's probably our new HOH. But, like,
could be Will. Oh,
I mean, if we think it's the wall, it seems like that's been every week we expect it. That feels like Riley more, like, who the fuck on Rachel's side? You gotta pray for Ashley.
Ashley's not gonna.
I think her best bet is Keanu by far. And I told them this, America, I think this is maybe weird. Right now, if I had to bet anyone to win the wall, I would bet Keanu.
Yeah, it's strength.
It's strength, and we know he has, like, I was doing, this is going to sound like the silliest analogy. I was in the gym today doing planks, right? And a plank is like, you do it until you can't, unless you're doing, like, an actual rep.
It's your own body weight, you know?
But
holding up your body weight.
But I'm not even making that comparison. I'm saying, like, I have a very bad tolerance for endurance. Like, when I get tired, I fold quick. I'm not going to sit there and really go until my last breath. I think Keanu clearly will.
Yeah.
Like, Keanu is going to let go because his fingers cannot hold on any longer. Whereas, like, Vince might not have that in him. And the same reason on our wall, I think Cameron would beat Jared.
Vince isn't winning the wall. It isn't.
He's got the right build and everything, but
No, he doesn't.
I think he does.
He's a scrawny guy.
I don't think he's as scrawny as me. Like, I think he's more like Quinn than me, if that makes sense.
Quinn is more athletic.
Yes, but I think he's somewhere in the middle.
Quinn is a lot more athletic. Just because he played baseball 10 years ago doesn't mean shit.
Who do you think is going to win the wall then? Keanu? Who
I
else?
think Keanu or Morgan. It's someone athletic and someone just with a lot of arm strength.
Yeah, like I think people say Morgan. I don't know. I think it's possible.
Look, obviously I don't want to be Morgan because she's been so annoying about it, but like
I would bet on Riley before Morgan, I think, if Riley's there.
I think he's too tall and I think the handles are going to be awkward for him.
Yeah, I mean, we just
Because
don't know what the
even
handles.
the highest one, I think it's just going to be awkward. Unless they're accounting for 6'5" this year.
I mean, they never account for anything.
Yeah.
Less body weight to hold up, like why Blue did so well. Yeah, but Blue's an exception, to be honest.
Blue's mind, just like she's
Yeah.
good up here.
Blue's kind of the only person in the modern wall era who did that. You know, like Tucker and Quinn were the last two last year, and Quinn trained for the wall specifically.
No, I'm saying like Blue's just very good mentally.
Yeah. And she's good enough physically to be able to do it. Yeah. Like, I was very impressed Blue did that well. But even like Bowie just is stronger than me. She's a lot more like pound for pound. I think she's way stronger than me, and that matters more than like everyone thought me, America, Mimi were gonna win the wall. That's not what the competition is anymore. Lauren and Kelly talk. Yeah. The problem is now Lauren can say to Kelly and be like, yeah, Kelly, Rachel assured me that you wouldn't be the replacement nom, which is why I used it. And that's true. So, like, if I'm Kelly, it's like, I would be super down with Lauren, you know? I wonder if Adrian could win. I would expect Adrian to have won the wall. He's a strong guy on top of having trained for the wall. Like, even if we didn't know he had walk-on Wednesdays, Adrian would be my first pick of this cast. Everyone competing. Except maybe Zach. Do you think you'd do better on the wall now? Yes, and I would still lose. Because I don't have good mentality with muscle endurance stuff. Today I was trying to hold the plank and I just gave up. It's like I don't know, a weakness of mine, I guess. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, who knows if it's even is the wall? We've been saying it's the wall for the past 3 weeks, so. Anyways, I'm going to get offline. The roundtables tonight. I'm not going to get online, I think, till probably Wednesday. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? What is your favorite comp? Just in general? Probably. In general, it's kind of hard. My favorite was the one I won. But I think Pressure Cooker is really fun, obviously.